Well, hello. Sorry I'm a little delayed today. We had to take our dog to the vet, and with COVID and all the new processes, that took much longer than the normal. But it actually wasn't too bad. We drove up to the parking lot, and you had to text in kind of your assigned number in your parking space, and they came out, and it was kind of like it kind of reminded me of like a back in the old days where they had the skaters on the roller skates and brought you out food, or like a drive-in movie theater, maybe sort of same concept. Anyways, it was very interesting. But here I am. My goal is every Thursday to tune in here at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time every Thursday and chime in on a topic that seems to be heavy that week. And this week, why don't I double check and make sure that I'm live so I'm not just rambling here all by myself, which I think it looks like everything's working really well. I'm kind of used to this new layout, but yep, looks like I'm here. Yay. So weird to see yourself on the screen. But something that's been really heavy this week is cheap food. I've talked to people that only have a budget of $6 a day to eat off of. And truthfully, I don't know how you can sustain a healthy eating lifestyle that will maintain level, consistent, healthy blood sugar ranges for someone that's pre-diabetic or type 2 diabetic. In fact, anyone really. So $6 a day is just not enough, and I would encourage you to find a way, recalculate your budget, see where there's money going out that can be reallocated to your food budget. Look at other means or ways to bring in another stream of income. There's so many things out there right now and ways to generate more money. But $6 a day is just not enough. I can eat off of $20 a day, 6 times a day, very, very healthy, and maintain a great, perfect, normal range of blood sugar levels. But we are marketed to, right? I go into the grocery store, which I have to go right after this live. It's just sad. You walk into the grocery store and there's just so many bright colors and bright, shiny packaging and, new flavors and new this, new that. And, now it's fall time. So, of course, the pumpkin spice, everything is out. And, you are tempted, right? You're really, really tempted. But all that stuff is just crap. It's not good for you. It soars your blood sugar ranges and actually sends you into this cycle of needing and desiring more sugar, more fat, more sodium type foods because you're going to crave them. And that's really hard to break. So once you get into eating healthy for a long period of time, you end up seeing food a lot differently. I do. I see food 90% of the time is fuel for my body, not for pleasure, not for enjoyment, but for feeding. It's like medicine, truthfully. If you look at food as being medicine or healing properties or just enough food to put in my body to get me through the next 3 hours in a healthy way, that elevates my energy, helps clarity, better choices, seeing better, my joints feel better, all these different things. Now, 10% of the time I do enjoy really good food. In fact, I'm a foodie. When I travel, I love food tours. So I get it. But, I hear this and I talk to, hi, Sina. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. What a beautiful name. Hi from New York. Thank you for tuning in and saying hi. I do monitor a lot of my clients on a daily basis, twice a day, in a wellness app that everyone watching this, you have an opportunity to play with it for 1 week for free. And after that, it's $85 a month if you want to continue. If you don't, that's fine. But for the week, you get it for free. And at the end of the week, we jump on a phone call, 5 minutes, half an hour, whatever it is that you need. And I talked to you about how the week went. You're supplied a lot of information in that week via email and via little messages inside of the app that will push you along and teach you and educate you a little bit about hydration and sleep and stress and food and all these different things that do impact your blood sugars. But, fast, cheap food is, filled with colors, filled with dye. super highly processed. They strip out all the nutrients and vitamins and fiber and all those good things. And it might say protein and all these different things added, but truthfully, our body doesn't assimilate it, meaning doesn't absorb it, doesn't recognize it most of the time when it's manufactured. So foods that are closest to the nature are best. But yeah, all the preservatives, there's so many long-term effects, and these companies spend thousands and millions of dollars to figure out what the human bliss point is, what lights up in the brain when we eat things, and they scientifically create foods that hit that bliss point, that pleasure point, that reward system in our brain, even though we might feel terrible an hour later or half an hour later or a day later, and all the guilt and shame and all these things that fall into place afterwards. They triggered, that reward in our brain, and that's where the addiction comes in. So, and it's an addiction. I posted in my other group, hopefully you're in it, it's #health. I asked if you could go to a birthday party and turn down the birthday cake, and everybody said yes. And which is interesting to me that everybody said yes, right? So those that truthfully thought no didn't type it out, didn't engage in that conversation. But hopefully, if you saw that or were a part of that thread or saw it, maybe it made you stop and think, well, could I? For me, the most common cakes are those big giant sheet cakes from the, Costco or Safeway. And to me, most of them are gross. Like again, back to being a foodie. I love food. I love a good, really made cake, homemade maybe, or professionally made, like, not the box stuff, like the really, really good stuff. Really, I wouldn't say rich, but, you could just tell. It's just, I don't know. That is hard for me to turn down. Birthday cake, easy for me to turn down. I just make sure that I'm not in that vicinity, or, gracefully say no, thank you. But, the cheaper the food is, the worse it is for you, really. Although I do think that you can eat, you can get a whole package of chicken breasts. And, that's about $10, $12, $18, depending on the size and the quantity and the amount and the price, that you're paying. But 4 ounces chicken breasts, right now, most of the chicken breasts are like cooked are like 12 ounces. They're huge. And all you need is 4 ounces, 3 to 4 ounces per meal. So even one chicken breast is going to last you several meals. So, I look at that and go, you chop that up and, you can make it several meals out of that. And of course, a lot of people I talk to are feeding a family. So I get that. But, find a way to move around money and budget, and, put a priority on your food budget. It might take, turning off Spotify. It might take turning off, something that, is entertaining, but, also is contributing to you not moving as much. Maybe it's Netflix. I don't know. I know that's kind of a sad one. I would hate to turn that off too, but whatever it is, look at where all your money's going and reallocate some money to your food budget. But, eating poor quality food is not only going to keep you on medication, it's a fast path to going on insulin. Because every time that you're going over 140, you're causing damage to your body. If somebody hasn't told you that, I'm telling you that right now. Every time you go over 140, it's causing permanent damage. So, we've got to get those blood sugar ranges below that. And it's easy to do. It really is. I have foods that I use 3 times a day, that are pre-made, and delivered to my house every month. But 3 meals, 3 of my 6 meals are from that box, and I offer samples. I can't give them away for free, so there's a small fee. And it is posted in this group. If you haven't seen it, reach out to me and I can help you find that. But these are foods that are about 110 calories, about 10 carbs. And everybody I work with that's pre-diabetic and diabetic can handle them and their blood sugars maintain, as long as they eat that and then something else 3 hours later. But it does really well. It's designed for diabetics, people with high cholesterol, high blood pressure. And they're really good. They're small, but that's really what we need to do is eat small meals 6 times a day, spread out every 3 hours. and I will get you into a healthy blood sugar range. Get your A1C at a number that you'd be very proud of, and you won't be afraid to go to the doctor anymore, right? But it is important to get rid of the crap out of your house. Even if you have family members and kids in your house, that crap doesn't need to be in your house. These processed foods, the macaronis, the rice-a-ronis, all these different things, need to be removed from your house because, planning is key. You got to know what you're going to eat. I know what I'm going to eat 24 hours in advance. Like I said, I eat those foods 3 times a day. And every night when I cook dinner, I cook 2 portions extra for myself for the next day and portion them out. So 2 of my other meals are leftovers from the night before. So that resolves that. But I don't really like leftovers more than a couple days old. That's kind of gross to me, so I try not to do that. But, so you just kind of got to have food prepared and ready to go so you aren't tempted by the whole, I'm going to the refrigerator, I'm starving, what am I going to eat? And then, something's bright and shiny and colorful and screaming at you to eat that you shouldn't eat. But, make sure you have plenty of fresh vegetables. I always say above ground vegetables, except for peas and corn. I'm not much on canned foods because it strips a lot of the vitamins and nutrients out of them, and they're not really good anyways. And has a lot of sodium usually. Lots of frozen vegetables, lots of fresh vegetables, and berries. Berries and cherries usually are pretty good for most of my diabetic clients, as long as they pair it with protein. Which I do. Once or twice a day, I'll have berries with egg whites, usually is one of my meals as well. And that's pretty much what I've just told you, everything I eat for a day. But, make sure you have high quality, high nutrient, high dense foods. You really can't go shopping once a week. I have to go 2 or 3 times a week because vegetables perish so fast, and just get used to it. It's just what it is. I'm pretty fortunate and I don't live far from several different stores, so I have a variety of options to choose. But non-fat dairy is great too if you're not lactose intolerant, so fat-free. Greek yogurt is great. Throw in a little bit of sugar-free pudding or sugar-free Jello powder, to flavor it up, make it yummy. Throw some berries on top and you're good. Same with non-fat, Greek, low-fat cottage cheese is another option. Same thing. You can dress it up with some sugar-free pudding or Jello, make it kind of fun. Or a lot of my clients, they'll put just tomatoes or, they get really creative with that. But yeah, just allocating $20 to $25 a month really seems to be a budget that I can work with really well and could encourage you to look for. But cheaper is definitely worse for you. Making sure on my notes I'm not missing anything. But yeah, all these processed foods, stay out of the drive-through, stay out of these fast food restaurants, period. Even if your friends want to go, say, hey, I just really don't want to go today, is there something else we can do? Just avoid the fast food. I don't know how long it's been since I've ate fast food. It's been a very long time. I would say probably, I think I know when it was the last time I went to a fast food restaurant, and I think it was about 2.5 years ago. And it's been a while. So I'm pretty sure. And it was just the one-time thing. It was with my kids, and they were like, oh, Mom, we got to go, and these are so good. And they weren't that good. But anyways, that's something that they like. But, we don't need it. You can say no to that stuff. But, so yeah, do you ever indulge in a piece of non-processed cake or something like that? Yes, absolutely. In fact, I know when I'm going to. My next time is October 24th. If you don't know me and we haven't chatted before, or you're new to my community, one thing that keeps me lean, mean, and strong, and keeps my blood sugars in check and keeps my body in great shape is I do bodybuilding. And I've learned a lot through bodybuilding, not to mention all my education and training, but I've learned a heck of a lot through bodybuilding and coaches and trainers and stuff like that. And I have a personal training certification as well. But I do believe I've hired coaches and trainers over the years that have elevated me, seen my blind spots and helped me. I have a personal trainer now. Even though I'm a personal trainer, once a week I go to her and she really helps me fine-tune things. But so October 24th, I have my next bodybuilding show, my only show for this year. I usually do 3 or 4 a year. So for me, I will indulge that night. So yeah, I do, but I'm kind of like figuring out what I want. So I know where I'll be. I know the venue. And in fact, I've been kind of like thinking about, oh, I'm going to go on and look at the restaurant menu and see what they have. Now, what I do to indulge is I make sure that I pair it with protein, right? Protein is the magic macronutrient. You put protein with anything, and it will help prevent the huge spike in your blood sugar. Now, eating something pure sugar is going to send it soaring no matter what. But I just had blood work done a few weeks ago and talked to my doctor. I'm, total normal. I have an underactive thyroid too that I have to monitor pretty heavily twice a year. Same with my blood sugars. I've got to just, take care of everything. But I'm not on any diabetic medication at all. I'm a controlled diabetic, if you want to put it that way. So I control it with diet and exercise. I work out every day. I train pretty much every day. And so my body fat percentages are pretty low. I mean, low for female, probably around 12%, maybe in that range. So it's pretty low, right? So I don't have any problems. Like I'm doing really, really good. But I do have lows that I have to really be careful of, and I can feel them, and I can almost tell you to the number what my blood sugar levels are. And lows are bad, just like but lows are actually really bad for me as well. So I have to be really careful. But yeah, I'm gonna indulge, like YOLO, right? But it's rare. It's not every day. It's not every week. In fact, here's how I look at it. When you indulge, you just threw yourself out the window for 3 days to go into what I call a fat burn, or where your blood sugar levels are consistent level. So you have 3 days of these kind of crazy, wild numbers. So that's how I look at it. A lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to eat so well on the weekdays, and then on the weekend, I'm just going to, go off the rails. Well, when you do that, not only are you off the rails the whole weekend, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're off the rails too. So really only like Thursday and Friday are you even in like, a good range. Like your body is kind of leveled back out again. So, indulgences should be, I actually have in one of my courses in Udemy to have one indulgence a month. And so I have on one of my slides is like the whole year, and it has like holidays on each of the months just to kind of pinpoint, maybe for December, Christmas, have an indulgence, right? And if you are on medication or whatever, talk to your doctor and however to handle that. But, birthdays or whatever, if there's like 3 birthdays in a month and there's no other holidays, you're going to have to pick one, right? Or just learn to say no, or learn to just have one bite and pair it with protein. And usually you can overcome. I love monk fruit sweetener. That's what I use. I like the granulated one in the red bag. I have it on my Amazon list. Ask me if you don't have that link. I love the granulated one because it actually kind of looks like sugar, feels like sugar. It doesn't taste like sugar though. It's not nearly as sweet as sugar. But I do sprinkle a little bit of that on my berries because I like it. It's yummy. That's really the only thing I use it for. I used it actually last week on a recipe. It called for it, like in the reduction, it called for sugar, like a teaspoon of sugar or something. But I used the monk fruit. And of course, obviously, you're not going to know. Now, the monk fruit in the bottle, the drops, I don't like nearly as much because there's sugar alcohols in there, and those really upset my stomach. And I have been seeing that too a lot lately, that people are like, oh, my stomach's really gassy and bloated, and I don't know what's causing it. And it oftentimes is sugar alcohols. A lot of times those don't reveal themselves until hours later. So it's kind of hard to identify, what's causing it. But sugar alcohols, pull that out of your diet, right? So like the sugar-free products, like sugar-free syrup, any of the sweetener drops especially, just look on the ingredients. Sometimes they're hidden or name different things, but sugar alcohols, a lot of like the bars, protein bars and stuff like that, that's what they use, is these sugar alcohols. And oftentimes that'll give you that gas and that bloat issue. So, but I do like the monk fruit sweetener. Like I said, the granulated doesn't seem to upset my stomach. Seems to be great. And I see all these recipes for, diabetics and stuff, and they're being all creative with ingredients, but a lot of them are just loaded with fat. And all it's doing is, truthfully, in my opinion, it's focusing on flavor again, and not. Food needs to be fuel, right? We've got to shift our mindset and stop trying to create, that luxurious, amazing bliss point, that raising of that light in your brain, by creating these mock recipes. It's just creating this craving, this need. Because like I said, with bodybuilding, I get into these weeks and months of not having any sweet stuff, right? My diet gets really, really tight and restrictive, and I look at food differently. Like food, it's almost like a job. Like I have to eat now, like it's like I have to eat. It's food, it's fuel. I need this fuel to fuel my body, and you feel incredible and you feel amazing, and it's super powerful. But when you're creating all these mock recipes and trying to, replace ingredients and do all this, that, and the other, I really think that we're still making food, pleasurable, and we need to find other things, things that are movement, things that are in nature, crafts, learning, education. We need to find other things that give us pleasure and joy, and laughter and fun and experiences in life versus food. I know our culture is so focused on food being the center of entertainment and pleasure, but I think that's the problem. That's what's got us here. So, think about that. It's a huge shift, huge. And I can get swept into that so fast, like within a day. In fact, my show, I'm going to indulge that night. But I'm very careful because I know I will feel horrible for the next 3 or 4 days. I'll have joint pain. I'll get really poofy in my face, retain a lot of water and feel horrible, and a lot of foggy brain. It just, because when you clean eat for so long and you go back to that, processed foods or something, sugary, or alcohol is really bad. I feel it in my toes and my knuckles, and my knees, and my back, everything. It's just was it worth it? No. Great points, great questions. I have the yellow bag. We'll use it in a smoothie. I don't know about the yellow bag, monk fruit sweetener. I'll have to look. I got mine on Amazon. So I actually did see the red bag in one of the stores recently. So it's coming out, more and more products. This is awesome. I struggle with that. I wish I had the energy to work out and healthy eating. Honestly, working out is not last, but it's not something that I usually work with my clients for a while. Usually a couple of months, maybe 3 months. Usually my clients start moving more before I'm ready for them to move more, which is interesting. And I think a lot of it is because they have the energy. They feel good and they want to move. They're like, I want to move. I feel great. My body doesn't hurt as much and I have energy, so I want to move more. And I'm like, oh, are you sure? It's a little soon. But I'm thinking of a client right now. She's been working with me since December, and yeah, when I first started working with her, she's not in this group. She's actually in the other group, but her steps per day was maybe 1,000. When I first started working with her, and yesterday she was at 11,000. Now she's traveling, and when you travel, you're walking a lot more, but yeah, she's got record number of steps. And she did too. She started exercising really early on, and I was like, it's not necessary. We have to work on one habit at a time, whether it be water or food or vice versa, and cleaning your environment and learning how to shop and shifting that mindset. There's so much to work on, and we can only as humans work on one thing at a time. That's why people jump on these diets. One, they're temporary, they're extreme, they're painful, they're awful. And it's changing everything, and and then life happens, and then they stop, and then they go back to their old ways. But that's not what I teach. I teach lifestyle. I don't teach dieting. I teach changing your whole lifestyle, changing the whole way of thinking, changing your environment, changing how you go about life and how you feel about food and making choices, being really strong and having great willpower. That's what I teach. But I've gone on for 24 minutes. I can't believe that. I'm trying to keep these at 15 minutes, but I feel like I got a lot out. I went through all my notes, and I felt like I hit on this really hard. I want to keep them under 15 minutes so those that are watching the replay don't get bored. Because that's how my attention span is. Like, is it an hour? Oh, I don't have time for that. But I am going to sign off. I hope this was valuable. Please comment below. Keep asking questions. Use this group. If you have a barrier or a challenge, post it in the group. This is your group. We're all here at a different point in our journey. We're all struggling and with diabetes or pre-diabetes, but let us all help you. If you want to jump on a call with me and we haven't talked before, let's do it. First call's free. And like I said, I can put you in the app for a full week for free and then a phone call afterwards. And then we can, talk about the week and what I noticed and some areas that we can, tweak or work on or improve. But it's great. It's amazing. It's life-changing. And a lot of people are like, oh, I want to wait until I'm ready. Well, if you wait until you're ready, it'll never happen. So truthfully, I believe that it's important to just do it. If even 20% of you is ready, that's plenty. So let's do that. All right. And then I have Udemy courses always available. I'm making more too. I've got to get this last one done. I did a couple of recordings yesterday and I meant to do some today, but my dog had to go to bed. So, all right, guys, I'm going to stop rambling. Thank you, Claudia. Thank you, Sienna. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And Claudia, you both were great today. Thank you for chatting with me. I look forward to talking to you again soon. All right, bye.